it's Tatyanna's last day of junior high school, so if somebody asks, do you have a daughter? Sure I do. She's in high school. Absolutely.
Ask anybody how creepy it is, how much I love Leanna. That's how much I love Tati. Is it Tati?
Yes.
Is it? Yes. Congratulations!
Thank you!
Tati's done middle school!
Hi!
Did I
Oh my god, it's been so long!
Did I really walk right past that?
Yeah.
Yeah, these out and throw this all in your station.
Is this trash?
There you go.
Yeah, Mom, why are you throwing these out?
Tati's gonna be right over there.
Oh, right.
And right over there. Well, this is the important part. Tatyanna Blaine's Choubmesser.
Tati won an award for Latin.
Is she accepting it on stage?
I'm going to be okay.
Well, good evening. Welcome. Dear families, faculty, distinguished guests, and esteemed students of Veritas Preparatory Academy, welcome. Tonight we gather to recognize and celebrate this 8th grade class of 2014. As headmaster of the Academy, on the recommendation of our faculty, I confirm and attest that these members of the class have completed a demanding and challenging course of study that has not only prepared them for what lies ahead, but has provided them with the foundations for a lifelong pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. My young friends, earlier today, we celebrated your notable accomplishments this year. Tonight, we commemorate an important marker on your journey to become true scholars, artists, athletes, and citizens. You have now reached a milestone of sorts. It's a significant one. You stand at the point of transition to adulthood, and you have been well prepared for that transition. It has been said that the middle school is the preparation for the prep school, and that's true. Together, you have been tested. You've been tested in the rigors of careful and precise discourse. Together, you have investigated the subtle and nuanced meanings of exquisitely crafted turns of phrase and expression. Together, you have examined and considered the material building blocks of life itself and the pillars of the earth and the heavens. Together, you have produced beautiful and timeless works of art, both with your voices and with the tools of paint and pencil. Together, you have learned how to apply yourselves to the knowing of what is. What awaits you is the opportunity to do just that. Now, what you leave behind you has provided you with some tools. It has equipped you with the tools of learning and the habits of heart and mind to make future learning endeavors effectual and fruitful. What lies before you, make no mistake, is more difficult, and it's more satisfying. And you, my friends, you are ready for it. The inestimable riches of the best that has ever been thought and written await you, and you are now prepared to discover them. But more than just discover them, to enjoy them. And more than just enjoy them, to share them with others. Congratulations. Tonight, our keynote speaker is someone well known to you and to our school, and someone very much beloved. He's a very fine teacher, a a man of letters, and a gentleman. We will miss him at Veritas Prep as he and his dear wife make their way to the Lone Star State, but he will take with him our appreciation, our best wishes, and our love. Please welcome Mr. Thomas Rowe.
Wegarderna, Indiardaden, Theodkninga, Trimjefuna, Utha Adalugas, Elden, Fredon. It is fitting that we end as we have begun. For some of us, those were the first words we had together. Those first words in the first class, on the first day of your first year at Veritas. Some of you were my first students, and some of you are among my last students here. And you are the last class to remember old Veritas, the last to remember tripping over rolling backpacks in the one hallway 6-7 campus. And since then you've worked, learned, grown so much. I never noticed you grow up. Each day we came, we learned, we grew that little bit. And there are these yearbooks with pictures of tiny children, clearly not the ones I just taught that day. And each year it's happened again and again, until as you stand here tonight, many of you are at least as tall as I am. You have grown. And in growing, you have had all the pains and stretching that come with that. But what have you been growing towards? What have you been growing in? What have you pursued? You've worked from solving simple equations to encountering algebra in its own right. You've moved from Marcus and the Cornelii stuck in a ditch to Cicero. And you've gone from making simple line studies to gracing the campus with beautiful works of art. And all the while, you've memorized poetry, read Shakespeare, studied history, sung in harmony. In all of this, you've encountered beauty, goodness, truth. And you'll continue to meet them in ever new and ever deeper ways. New languages, Plato, Dostoevsky, calculus, and physics. The question is not whether you will meet them, it's whether you will recognize them and embrace them. Learning to see the beautiful, especially in a subject that you're struggling with, it's not easy. Pursuing the truth, when all around you say there can be many contradictory truths all true at the same time, it's not easy. And pursuing the good, when it demands that you sacrifice your desires for another, it's not easy. It's a quest. It's a journey, often like Bilbo's Unexpected, pulling you away from your comfortable hobbit hole, pushing you out onto a road that might take you who knows where. For as the poet T.S. Eliot writes, home is where one starts. As we grow older, the world becomes stranger, the pattern more complicated. Whether you are remaining at Veritas or leaving our halls for the last time, you have a difficult road ahead of you. What will see you through? Perhaps you trust to your wits, to your diligence, your strength of mind, or your talents on the field. And to be certain, these do equip you for the journey. You would be foolish not to take them with you. You've seen them played out in what you have read. The quick wit of Tom Sawyer, which took him out of and got him into many a tight spot. Throughout The Wind in the Willows, you've seen Rat, who's held up as this clever fellow all looks up to, reveres him. There are few things that Mr. Toad could not get out of with a bit of resourcefulness. What about Shane and his diligence? How long would the Starretts have kept their farm without his grit and determination? Or returning to where we began, Beowulf and bravery. From the 3-night swim in the deep with sea creatures, to the handshake with Grendel in that hall, to the lake, and the final encounter with the dragon, courage is his theme. Yet none of these virtues is enough to see our heroes through. Think back for a moment to Rat in those final chapters of The Wind in the Willows. As he watches all of the birds fly away south for the winter, he's filled with a longing to leave his home and go with them, to abandon his friends. And on that point, When he is so torn, it is not his cleverness that saves him. Or take Beowulf. In that final battle against the dragon, he tells his men to remain behind. He goes into the barrow alone, relying on the strength of his arm to attain glory. And yet, he's wounded. He is overcome. He cannot triumph by his own abilities. You see, neither cleverness, nor determination, nor courage will be enough on your journey. Nor, we might add, would all these virtues taken together be enough. As Rat stood poised to walk through the door and leave his friends forever, he is stopped by Mole. By Mole, the foolish, naive, often admired Mole. He's not the one that we think of as a hero, but he stops Rat, he comforts him, he encourages him. As Beowulf stands engulfed in the dragon's flames, who comes to his side? It's the loyal Thane Wiglaf. He encourages the other men, rebukes them for their cowardice. He calls on them to remember the bonds of love and fellowship that bind them to their lord, Beowulf. It is friendship that sees the hero through on his trials. It is the loyalty of the friend that shines the brightest in the darkest moments of the greatest stories. In it we see something greater, something higher than determination or wit or even courage. We see love, selfless and sacrificial. It's the love that dares to endure the dragon's fire no matter the cost. What stands out about Wiglaf and Mole is not who they are. They're fairly unremarkable characters. They're not the focal point of the stories. It's what they do that matters. They choose, despite their weaknesses, to stand by those that they love. And so it is that the foolish things, the weak things of this world, put to shame the wise and the powerful. It is to friendship then that you must turn on your journey. Not only relying upon the steadfastness of your friends, but being steadfast yourselves. And so, if like Bilbo, we make it to the end of our unexpected journey, what then? Where, you may ask, where does this journey lead? Home. To that round green door in the side of a gently sloping hill, and all those things we loved and knew and admired, those things that we knew were good and true and beautiful. Our journey brings us back once more to them. Again, as T.S. Eliot writes, we shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time, through the unknown remembered gate. The journey does not bring us back unchanged. We come back to where we began, and only then do we know the place for the first time. Only then do we perceive why the true and the good and the beautiful are what they are. The dangers we braved, the toils we went through, pressed on through, they taught us along the way, yet we would not have made it through them on our own. We stand or fall based on the friendship that we have, the one or the other. And so as you leave this place tonight, you soon to be freshmen, you're setting out on an adventure that will test you to the utmost. And on that adventure, it will not be your talents or your abilities that see you through. It will be the bonds of love and fellowship that you have built and that you will build. The steadfast friendship that stands unshaken by gossip or slander, that remains true even in the face of trials. So as you go forth, take with you all your skill, daring, wit, and resolve. You will need them. But most of all, take your friendships.
Hello, 8th grade. We meet again. You've probably heard the joke that the dean only has 2 types of speeches, 15 or 30 minutes. Not tonight. The 8th grade commencement award is awarded to one young lady and one young man from each 8th grade graduating class. This is not purely an academic award. It is to recognize the great-hearted student who has demonstrated charity and grace while consistently displaying academic excellence. No easy feat. The 2003 winners of this award are Anna Espinosa and Jacob Preschishin. Come on up.
It is once again my great honor and privilege to call the names of these young men and women tonight as they graduate. So to it. Please hold your applause mostly, if you can, so that everyone's name can be heard clearly. Thank you. Our first graduate is Joseph Anderson. Cassandra Avila. Sebastian Bautista. Raphael Birch. Armand Charland. Tatyanna Choubmesser. Jacob Cohen. Caitlin Cooney. Keaton Crawford.
My friends, when we first met in August in what is now the Van Brunt Gymnasium, I told all of the students at Veritas Prep, to some amusement as I recall, that your time in the school, do you remember this? That your time in the school would make you more beautiful. You recall that I mentioned that to you? Yeah, some of you do. Well, tonight, I'm going to stand by that suggestion. Their time at Veritas Prep has indeed helped to make them more beautiful. You may recall, and I want to tell you how. Thank you. I want to tell you how. I alerted all of you to no small amount of snickering, and none from this class, I'm sure, that in Greek, the word for what is beautiful, kakalon, is also the word for what is noble. And here at Veritas Prep, we have honed not only your minds, but your hearts. And today, the young people sitting behind me are examples of noble young men and women who recognize the excellence of character as a perfection of the soul. And one of the things that makes you so beautiful is your sense of wonder. That palpable sense of intellectual curiosity that reveals the vitality of the soul. You can see it in their eyes. I just did. There may be no greater gift that we have been able to impart to your children than to have helped to cultivate in them a sense of wonder. Plato tells us that the path to truth begins in wonder, which then leads us to seek knowledge, understanding, and ultimately helps us to arrive at wisdom. You, my friends, will never, ever exhaust that quest on which wisdom impels you. Truth is not something that you master and move on from. It's not something you figure out and leave behind. Truth is something in which you immerse yourself. But we should all be warned. The wonder that you have nurtured in your hearts, in your time at this school, will not only sustain you, it will not allow you to become complacent. Now you know too much not to seek to know more. My young friends, keep that spark of wonder alive in the days, and in the months, and in the years ahead. Feed it by keeping good company with others who share it, who share that sense of wonder, and who rejoice with you when you are led to new discoveries of authentic truth, goodness, and beauty. By doing this, you will reveal yourselves not only to be good stewards of the precious gifts that have been imparted to you, you will in turn inspire others by your example. Have a wonder-filled and wonderful summer. I already look forward to seeing you and seeing you in the fall. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Let's give it up.